What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Cool Colas here, and you are now tuning into a new video on my channel. But before we get all into the topic, I would love for you to do a few things for me. Go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and subscribe so that you can get all of the information on my channel and updates and everything that's going to come with. Hit the bell icon so that you get notifications for when things pop up, content pops up, etc. And make sure at the end of this video, you leave me a comment so I can go back to it later and I can respond. For today's topic, I want to talk about whether or not there is a such thing as a white ally. Now, I've seen that term thrown around probably over the past decade quite a bit, but I don't think anybody has ever properly addressed whether this is actually a real thing or if this is actually a myth. When it comes to the concept of white allies, I think we need to ask the question, or take the question actually, and maybe divide it into two different questions. So the first question would be, is it possible to have a white ally? And then what does it mean to be a white ally? So I think that in order for us to truly answer that question, we have to be able to answer those two questions that are split apart. So with the question, is it possible to be a white ally? The answer is yes. But I think that we also need to define what a white ally is. When I think about an ally, I think of somebody who is aligned with somebody, has an allegiance to somebody, and has a camaraderie with somebody in order for them to get done whatever it is that person they are allied with is trying to get done. So there's a mutual interest in that particular thing that they're trying to do. So what that means when it comes to white allyship is that they are an ally specifically because think about this, y'all. We're talking about the context of black people with pro-blacks. The context would be that if they are trying to fulfill the same mission as pro-blacks, that means that they are trying to get tangible resources for black people so that they can have a means of not just surviving, but also thriving in society and to have the things that they are owed. So when we look at that definition, are they seeking a tangible means for black people to survive and thrive and what they are owed in society and have always been owed? We have to look at the climate of what has happened over time. Have white people historically advocated for reparations for black people? Have they implemented laws that protect black people? Have they implemented resources for black communities, such as for black businesses and things like that? In my experience, exclusively the answer to this is no to all of these things. So in my opinion, I really don't believe that this is a thing that actually exists right now. Now, do I think that there is potential or there are potential white allies? Of course. And they're probably not making themselves known. But I think that when you have white people who are not also advocating for reparations for foundational black Americans in America, when you have white people who are not advocating for tangible laws for black people to protect them, when you have white people who are not allocating for black people to have resources, and I mean exclusively, not in addition to some shit, literally exclusively, then the answer to all these questions is no, it does not exist. But I want to make something very clear. If a white person wanted to be an ally, they can make the choice to do so. But you can always identify when somebody is not a true ally. And here's the reason why you can identify. A lot of times, someone who is not a true white ally as a white person is saying that I am a white ally. That is like one of the key indicators. And the reason why is because immediately it's very easy to question them to say, what have you done? What has your ass done that has actually advocated or have been an action that's advocated for black people? What have you done to be a reparationist? Like literally for foundational black Americans. What have you done to exclusively try to get tangible laws to protect black people? What have you done to try to get resources for black people? Most of the time, they'll say nothing. Most of the time, they'll say they posted some shit on social media. But literally, have you been in a political realm where you've tried to create these things? Have you supported candidates who have tried to create these things? Have you Have you advocated against candidates who have not done these things? If you are saying no to all of these things, you are not no damn ally. And the reality is that this is 99% of white people. That's the reality. So the reason why I say the answer to this question Is there such thing as a white ally? The answer to that question right now is no. But is it possible to have a white ally? Yeah, you can make the choice to do that. I think that the problem is that there's a lot of white folks who are deviating to white supremacy covertly. And a lot of times they want to do acts of white supremacy, but not be accused of it. And then if they don't want to do anything that's explicitly racist or anything like that, what they like to do is they like to stay in the middle and say, I don't want to have no involvement in it. And then they don't want to be accused of being complicit because they haven't done anything. So if you don't want to be a white ally, I mean, like, just be honest about it. Just say, hey, look, I'm a flaming white supremacist, and that it is what it is. But what I don't respect is a white person trying to pretend like they are aligned with black people when the reality is that it's just performative. It just gets them attention. And it basically calls out to those really ridiculous butter biscuit eating Negroes who are looking for white acceptance. They're looking to find that one white person who will be different than the white people that they typically see. So the answer to this question again is no. It is possible, and that's up to white people if they want to do that. My opinion, I'm just going to be honest with you, the majority are not going to do that. And I mean, when I say the majority, I mean the vast majority. Not your little friend who if you're black, not your little friend who's white, and you're like, oh yeah, accept them, because a lot of y'all niggas are doing that as you're watching this video. I already know it. I'm talking about a very specific type of white person that it would take to be an ally. And if they do not fit that bill, they are not your ally. Anyway, y'all, I hope you enjoyed this video. That's all I had to say. I'll probably have more on the topic later, but I hope you continue to tune into my content. Other than that, I hope you all have a good rest of y'all's day, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.